Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Going to talk about webcamming fears, webcamming with a Filipina. Now, when I joined Christian Filipina, I did not have a webcam. I'd never done anything like that, and so I have to admit it was kind of intimidating. Just the thought of speaking to a younger Filipina, that's what I was looking for. Those were the women that I was doing my searches for. And so eventually I was going to have a conversation with a Filipina. The first one was not to my wife. I probably did 4 others before I set up a webcam with my wife. And so I was a little bit prepared when I had spoken to her, but there's always going to have to be a time to break the ice. And I know a lot of guys have not used this before, a webcam to talk to somebody that's thousands of miles away, so it's understandable to be uncomfortable, so let's talk about that. Webcamming with a Filipina is absolutely a must, but it does not have to be a harrowing experience. So remind yourself that you are in your home, so you're in your own place, make your space comfortable. You don't have to come home from work and scramble around and then start the webcam, because then you might look disorganized. And so just, be in your home, make yourself comfortable, get some tea. I usually had tea or water. Didn't want to eat a lot with food falling out of my mouth, but I wanted to be comfortable, have something to drink nearby, and didn't have any music in the background. Try to make it as peaceful as possible. And so that's what I did. You can now get these webcam apps on your phone. So if you want to, you can go out to the lake somewhere it's not too windy, go for a walk, be in your car, be inside someplace. It doesn't have to be at home, but that's the place when I just get home, take care of business, forget about anything else, and can communicate, get my notes if I have any, to talk to this person. And so that's the place I wanted to do it, was from home. So as far as making notes, you'll want to be prepared so you don't have awkward silence anyway, and get off to a good start. You can maybe write down some icebreakers, and there's probably lots of places on the internet to find icebreakers. But take some notes on just maybe your introduction or anything you think you would need if you feel like it's you're getting some dead air, so to speak, to use a radio term. But it's okay to take some notes ahead of time, and of course take notes while you're talking, because if you're going to be talking to multiple women, you're not going to remember. You may not remember much of what you talked about after you just got done talking to her. So to multiply that by many women, you're going to have to help yourself and take some notes, put their name, age, any relevant information. I wanted to learn my wife's relatives' names and even ages, at least to be able to ask her about. Eventually I did memorize them. So take notes of each woman. And now, as far as your demeanor, be courteous. Always be courteous. Never use bad language. A Filipina is less likely than a Western woman to tolerate that. No bad language. My wife is not the only Filipina that just does not want to hear that. Excuse me, that'll be a big turnoff for her. And also, something to think about is how you dress. It may be at home, it might be the end of a day, it may be on the start of a weekend where you're not necessarily going anywhere, but don't throw on some old rags. Try to look decent, don't overdress. Just try to be representative of what she might be with when she gets here. A Filipina wants her man to look nice. So just get off to a good start. Wear something presentable, something nice when you're on there, and watch what you say. Now, Filipina, I discovered all of them were very easy to talk to, and they were very pleasant, and they were eager to talk to me. I kind of thought they would be nervous, but anything but. They were all relaxed and cheerful, and hi sir, how are you sir, and would look right at the camera. They weren't distracted doing all kinds of other things. They're very professional about it, and I would assume that that's likely to be your experience. Now, if the person you're talking to is looking in all different directions and playing with her phone or something like that, then she's not caring enough about the potential for your relationship to get rid of those distractions. And with as many Filipinas as are available, I would just move on quickly. There's a lot of things that I would see that I would just move on quickly to not waste either one of our time, because there's a lot of Filipinas to choose from. And being distracted, allowing herself to be distracted, would be one of them. Now, you can always ask her how her search is going. She's on, if you're on a dating site, she's on there. She may be on some other ones. Just ask her how her search is going. And that's a good icebreaker, I found. You've been on this website for a while. How's your search going? You met any nice guys or something like that? And then just let her take it away from there. Also, tell her about your search, how long you've been on there, and how it's going. Maybe you've got some funny, some awkward stories to share. Also, if you're looking for a younger woman, like I was, just let her know that, that you're very attractive, and I'm looking for a younger woman. Get that out of the way right away, and you'll probably feel a lot better about the whole thing. Also, make sure to ask her about her family. Family is so huge in the Philippines. Ask her about her brothers and sisters, and how her parents are doing, and ask her about her city, because it's possible, like me, you know nothing about the place she lives. And I'm not sure I'd even seen many pictures of the Philippines before I got on 4 planes to go out there. So talking about the Philippines would be something to make her comfortable, because she knows all about that. Take a look at what she wrote in her profile and talk about that. Ask her to elaborate on something that she wrote, something that was important to her, a good moment that she had in the past, anything at all. Just ask her about it, and I think she'll be comfortable talking about that too. And let her know that you are in serious search of a wife. I hope you are. And let her know what you have to offer her as her potential husband. And let her know what marriage to you will be like, because that's what a dating site, Christian dating site international, is all about. It's not about a modern day pen pal. It's about looking for a spouse. So you have to be real, you have to be serious, and you can do that and be pleasant because you're looking for a wife. So that came very easily to me. Another thing, some women have told me that the guys that they talk to rarely have a whole lot to say. And if one of you is quiet and gives short answers, then that's going to make it uncomfortable for the other person too. So be prepared. You don't have to talk for 10 minutes on each question, but try to engage in conversation. And maybe some of that is because the guys are nervous. They're talking to a beautiful Filipina, and their mind is going different directions. And that can happen. That's very understandable. But just realize they're not nervous. They're probably very relaxed. So just enjoy the experience and have something to say. Be honest and transparent. I think a woman wants to know how you feel. That's a good thing. Let her see that you are excited to see her. You can wave at her, blow her a kiss. Tell her that she's guapa, beautiful. I'm sure you will, because that's so easy to do with a Filipina. And if you're in America, the time zone difference here works out perfectly. It's 13 or 14 hours, depending on the time of year, which works out, gives you normally some time before work and probably more time after work, before you go to bed, but that's her morning. So you have to be considerate if she has a job or not. But there's always time to talk. And if there isn't time to talk, then you need to make time to talk with her, because marriage is important. How much to talk about? Okay, this is something. An Ethiopian man at work that encouraged me to find a foreign wife asked me how much we were talking, and he couldn't believe that we were talking for 3-4 hours a day, and sometimes on the weekends even more. Now, he thought that was too much, and we should cut it down to like several times a week for 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I know that was his preference, and maybe to some extent that was his personality, but it would have taken me 3 years to get to know her in the time that we got to know each other, which was much less because we had so much more volume of talk. And it wasn't just repeating the same things. We tried to build on what we were talking about because we were moving towards marriage. But my recommendation would be to you is don't put any limits like that. I mean, if you're talking and things are going well and it's easy to communicate with each other, talk for several hours a day. That can only be a good thing in my opinion. So I didn't take his advice. We got married in less than 8 weeks, and I've been very happy that we did. So what did we talk about? I wish I could remember. I proposed to her on day 18, and of course we had to talk about the wedding plans, and immigration. And we do have chat logs of all of our conversations when we typed everything out. And so that would show me what we were talking about. And right now, I honestly don't remember. That was 3 years ago. My concern now is my marriage. But just start talking about each other's days and your experiences and about each other. And don't force it in time. It'll just come natural like it would if she lived across the street and you can't wait to see her and talk to her, and just try to be relaxed. You know, there's not a lot of rules with this webcamming, but just be polite and see how it goes, and realize that you could be just one conversation away from your love beyond the sea.